Siaya oye! Siaya oye! Siaya oye! Siaya oye! Rais, tumekukaribisha Siaya.
The video you've watched is not AI generated, neither is it a fake video. It is a real, actual video that was recorded during the tour of William Ruto in Siaya County and during the groundbreaking of the Usenge Pier in that county. So the president invited the Siaya governor, James Orengo, despite the fights, the political fights between Orengo and William Ruto. He called him to speak to the crowd since he was in Siaya County and the president of that county is James Orengo. So when Orengo stood to speak and address the crowd, the crowd started heckling and booing him, telling that they refused to be talked by him, and it's something that we really need to talk about, we really need to debate upon. So there are many reasons why the Siaya County did not want James Orengo to speak to them. Let me not say the Siaya County people, those people who attended the function. There is a reason why those people never wanted Orengo to speak to them or rather to address them. And those are the reasons I want us to look into. We debate on them. You can also write your comment down there. I'll capture that in the next video as I do the next video. But also if you're new here, consider subscribing as a way of supporting us and helping us grow this platform where we talk politics and also we allow views, divergent views, to come in as we grow ourselves politically in Kenya. Now, I want us to look at, I have some 4 reasons why the people in that meeting never wanted Orengo to address them. In fact, they were unruly when he was talking to them. Others, they wanted even to lynch him. There are reasons. The first reason, the Luo people right now, they don't want to be in opposition politics. Many people, they want to feel closer to power, as Oburu Odinga always say. In many years, since in 1997, the Luo Nyanza has been in opposition, despite the 2018 truce and handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta that brought them closer to the government, and they felt like they were, in the government. And also right now, during the broad-based agreement between Raila Odinga and William Ruto, all other times, in fact, the 2007 also, there was Nusumkate, and purely they've been in opposition despite the fact that it reaches a point whereby they are given either Nusumkate, a handshake, or, broad-based agreement. So this time round, now that Raila Odinga is dead, they really lack someone to give them direction. Is either they go on roads to rampage and also to protest, or rather to follow what Oburu is saying, that they need power, so they need to be closer to the power. So the people, the Luo Nyanza, this time round, they really want to be in power, despite William Ruto is leading the country astray, in the wrong direction. They don't want to know. All they want to be is closer to the power, closer to the government, because they've been in opposition the whole of their lives. In as much as they are being, rather it reaches a point where they are closer to the government, it's not really in government, wanapewa some bits like in 2007 Nusumkate, which was not really Nusumkate. The second reason, James Orengo is against Oburu Odinga. James Orengo is not with other ODM leaders. We have 2 factions in ODM. We have the Linda Ground faction, we have the Linda Mwananchi faction. So Orengo aligned himself with the Linda Mwananchi faction, and therefore the Luo Nyanza, the people from the Luo Nyanza, they feel like James Orengo is really betraying the tribe, because Many people right now are saying they want to be in government, they don't want to be in opposition. But Orengo is trying to pull them back to a position where they belonged when Raila Odinga was alive. And it's something that has caused a lot of opposition from the people who really loved James Orengo. By the way, if you didn't know, James Orengo, even the times he was the senator, he never campaigned. He never produced even a single poster saying, oh, James Orengo, vote for me, ODM or stuff. People loved James Orengo because he stood firmly with Raila Odinga, whom the people of the Luo Nyanza respected so much. In fact, Raila Odinga could say, in Siaya we have James Orengo as the senator. Just like that, he becomes the senator because, let's say, the people loved him so much. So I don't know how we reached here where people would shout at James Orengo. You know, James Orengo was a people's darling. But it's because James Orengo decided to side with Edwin Sifuna, the Secretary General of ODM, who was reinstated by the courts. So the fact that James Orengo is siding now with Edwin Sifuna, the Vihiga Senator Ososi, and Babu Wino, whom the Luo Nyanza people do not recognize as a fellow Luo man, they call him half-caste, is something that should be investigated. And this is the reason why the people almost lynched the Siaya governor. And another thing also, the Siaya governor has been adamant to follow William Ruto, despite the calls from Ruto, oh, we need to make it broad-based and stuff. Governor Orengo, in fact, from the word go, even when Raila wanted to join hands with the William Ruto, James Orengo was giving speeches saying, you know, the Luo Nyanza, we need to have our thing. We need to have something, an agreement, a genuine agreement that is signed. Because if we go there blindly, and then it will be a laughing stock. In fact, he was advising Raila Odinga to allow talks and steps to be followed, whereby a legal agreement will be signed by both parties. And this brought about the NADCO report. So James Orengo has stood his ground since Raila Odinga was alive, and also right now that he's going, he has stood with his ground, and this is the reason why he joined, or rather he teamed up with Edwin Sifuna, who had rather the people of the like mind, you know, the likes of Ososi, the senator, you know, the people who have the same vision, and this has brought a lot of chaos back in his county. In fact, during the time when people loved him, during that time, no one even questioned about the development programs and the development process in Siaya County. But the moment when Orengo mentioned that he is not following others blindly to follow William Ruto into the bread-based government, hell broke loose. He started being audited on matters development, on matters ruling, you know, how is ruling the county. So many things came up. But it is because he showed a sign that he is not into the broad-based government. Number 3, I know many people will disagree with me on this matter, but I want to say it black and white. ODM is a Luo party. Yeah, it is a national party per se, but it is a Luo party. You cannot be a leader, you know, in ODM if you are not a Luo. You are not from Odinga's family. You know, by extension, we say that, you know, this Odinga family, this Odinga party, to extension, it is a Luo party. And that is why they were so against Babu Wino being the party leader. You saw many things coming up. Oh, he's married to a Kikuyu woman. You know, he's an half-caste. He's not a pure Luo. We need a pure Luo to hold our party, to be at the helm. You need someone who is who has upheld the traditions of our tribe, who is married to a typical Luo and stuff. Because it is an or rather it is Odinga family party, and at the same time it is a Luo party. So by the time Orengo chose to side with Edwin Sifuna Aluya, you know, like Edwin Sifuna is leading the Linda Mwananchi. So by Orengo following Edwin Sifuna to form the Linda Mwananchi caucus, this one, let me say, it angered many Luos because they felt like Orengo is selling them to the Luya. He wants the ODM to be led by Luya, you know, so many things. And this is the reason why Orengo was greatly booed while speaking and in front of William Ruto, who in fact never wanted even to shout down those who were shouting. He never wanted even to, you know, he wanted Orengo to feel how the broad-based is strong, you know, in Siaya County. And then lastly, you know, those people who are there, those are mobilized groups. There is no, you know, one thing Kenyans we need to know, there is no rally, there is no any political rally will happen without mobilized crowds. There's nothing like, oh, I'm coming there, unless it's David Maraga holding a rally at some point. But a pure, a well-organized political rally, there must be mobilization. There are groups being mobilized either by the foot soldiers, you know, like William Ruto right now, you know, Wanga would come with her own people from Homa Bay, you know, Oburu would come with his battalion, you know, his people believe in him. Anyang' Nyong'o would come with his people from Kisumu. So the whole crowd that was there is not purely the residents of Siaya County. And that is something that people should know. So those mobilized crowds, they came there perhaps because they were paid. And if I'm paid also, for example, even you, if you are paid, let's say 1,000 to attend a political rally, you must support the one who paid you at that moment. You know, there are chances, perhaps 15 or 10% people of Siaya County, they want William Ruto, and 85% or rather 90% wants the leader Mwananchi caucus or the opposition. So let's not grade everything as per the crowds. Anyway, that is all for today from Kenya Lens Media. You can give your comments down there as they help us while we are preparing the next video. What do you think? As James Orengo was being shouted down, you know, many people shouting at him and not wanting him to address them. Kindly subscribe, like, and share